Aaron Gordon used to be the main guy in Orlando. The team and himself were striving to make him a star. He had the skills and he has the talent, but now with the Nuggets, he's become an overqualified and yet very high impact role player. With that massive change, he's never looked better, contributing beyond the box score and making the team a true contender. Let's break it down. Before we start, consider subscribing to the channel where we break down the NBA and your favorite players using cutting-edge analytics. So Aaron Gordon was selected 4th overall in a draft class that was loaded top to bottom. Just a few of the notable names drafted behind him include Marcus Smart, Julius Randle, Zach LaVine, and of course Nikola Jokic. From the get-go, the Magic had high hopes that he'd be a franchise cornerstone. For a while during Frank Vogel's coaching tenure, they were even trying to have Gordon become a version similar to Paul George, a playmaking defensive small forward who creates his own shot. But needless to say, a lot of effort was made to make Gordon a vital piece for the Magic, so much so that his play style is that of a completely different player now. The guy made a big sacrifice to his own production to buy into a role on the Nuggets that was needed to win meaningful games, being the hustle guy and connector as we saw before with Andre Iguodala when he went to the Warriors. So let's compare the difference between the Orlando version of Gordon and the Denver one. First, the jump shooting. Now known for being one of the best players in the dunker spot, Gordon hardly takes jumpers anymore. In Orlando, almost 30% of his field goal attempts were jump shots, compared to just 14% now. He took just 8% of his shots off cuts, compared to 25% in this year's playoffs. Of course, this only benefited him as he was never really an efficient shooter, hitting just 32% of his threes for his career. That change has driven his efficiency immensely as he's a plus 1.2 on the floor and was just plus 0.1 with the Magic, and he had an insane 12% jump in field goal percentage from his last full year in Orlando. But it's not just shot selection that Gordon had to accept. Joining a team with established stars means less time running the offense. Aaron Gordon went from 2.1 possessions per game as the pick and roll ball handler with the Magic to giving up those opportunities entirely as a member of the Nuggets. He didn't register even 10 of those play types the entire postseason. Instead, Gordon plays off his teammates to make himself and them better. He has the ability to space the floor and is fine spotted up in the corner, but the second his defender sags off him, he's instantly positioned perfectly for a post-to-post pass or alley-oop dunk. That synergy is shown perfectly with Nikola Jokic, who is a one-on-one nightmare. Either you let the Joker shoot or allow an easy pass to a cutting Gordon. While Jokic is great on his own, his play is elevated when a player like Gordon pressures defenses to not commit too hard on double teams. When he doesn't directly show up on the stat sheet, you know his feeling is felt through hustle. Of all the 12 hustle stats recorded on NBA.com, Aaron Gordon ranks in the top 5 in every single one for Denver. Then on defense, while KCP is the best perimeter defender for the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon isn't too far behind and is much more versatile, switching on to big, small forwards, guards, you name it. Check out how he did in the playoffs. He held Anthony Edwards to 36% shooting, Anthony Davis to 41%, and Cat to 48%. While he didn't spend much time on them in total, Gordon also frequently switched onto quicker guards and held his own just fine. Rarely do you have players who are high usage stars on offense as well as a defensive ace. The load that places on them is exhausting and can increase the chance of injury. That's why a guy like Gordon, who's willing to give his all on defense while not having the ball in offense, helps take pressure off the stars. But that is not all a player like that has to be willing to sacrifice. With only so many shots, rebounds, and assists to be had in a single game, role players often look like they don't do much to the casual fan who just checks the box score. So they bear the brunt of the blame on social media for losses. So pour one out to Aaron Gordon. He went from having his very own team to being a cog in someone else's, and the Nuggets look better because of it. Subscribe.